It turns out that President Trump and his legal team have reportedly been getting the inside scoop on Mueller's investigation for months, with Manafort's attorney communicating information directly to Trump's team even after Manafort agreed to cooperate with the special counsel. That is according to the New York Times. And now we have to make it clear. The idea of Trump and Manafort coordinating their legal strategies, it's not a new one. We learned in September that the two had a joint defense agreement. It allowed them to share confidential information. But typically, when a defendant flips and agrees to a plea deal, they have to pull out of agreements like that. As NBC News reported at the time, once Manafort changed sides, the agreement should have been null and void. But Trump's attorney, Giuliani, told the New York Times there was still communication going on, an arrangement that legal experts have described as highly unusual. Here's my question. Unusual, unethical, was it illegal? Giuliani defended the arrangement to the Times, saying it was a source of valuable insights into the special counsel's inquiry and where it was headed. Yeah, of course it was. And the New York Times went on to say that, quote, such information could help shape a legal defense and appeared to give Mr. Trump and his legal advisors ammunition in their public relations campaign against Mueller's office. Here's an example. Giuliani told the Times that Manafort's lawyers told him Mueller's investigators were intent on finding out what the president knew about the Trump Tower meeting in 2016. He said that Mueller was trying to get Manafort to incriminate Trump. But that is just one single example. Remember this. Manafort met with Mueller's investigators over a dozen times. So that's a lot of information that could have been passed along. And this morning, the president decided to weigh in on all of this on Twitter, of course, saying this. While the disgusting fake news is doing everything within their power not to report it that way, at least three major players are intimating that the angry Mueller gang of Dems is viciously telling witnesses to lie about facts, and they will get relief. This is our Joseph McCarthy era. Oh my gosh, I'm sad I only have an hour because we have a lot to get to.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.